you guys for coming to talk to our kids and really just spend some time with them. Again, our goal is really to empower our students to really just understand that the world is theirs and they can really do whatever it is that they put their minds to. It's going to take some work, a lot of hard work and effort. You're going to fall and get back up and fall and get back up. But these people are here to show you that you can do it, right? I do want to just kind of go through quickly our volunteers so you know who you have here. So if you could just, as you hear your name, whether you want to wave or a quick stand, either is fine. On our panel, we have Ms. Kawana Hamilton. She is the VP of Talent Management and Development at AMC Networks. I have Ms. Danielle Good, who is a holistic perinatal and mental health practitioner. Mr. Richard Celestin, who is an attorney and educator of Richard Celestin Consulting Group. And we have, did you make it up? And we have Tony Das, who is the Director of Infrastructure Services and Management of Radiology Imaging at Northwell. We also have Ms. Sharina Phillips. She is the Senior Financial Operations Analyst for Family Medicine Service at Northwell. We have Tricia Sinclair, who is a licensed master social worker at Northwell Health and North Shore Hospital. Mr. Fahim Ali in the back. He's a senior software engineer at Capital One. Ms. Shondell Goodridge is a mental health counselor at Zucker Hill Hospital and Helping Hands Psychotherapy. We have Mr. Eddie Williams and Mr. Kyle Williams. They're brothers, guys. From Paraclete AI. Miss Jasmine Hunter. Y'all not gonna give it up for Miss Hunter? Y'all know Miss Hunter. 3 hours. Who is an esthetician. So she is not here as a teacher. She is here today as an esthetician. We have Miss Amy Torres in the back, who is a marine engineer at Lee Scott Solutions. Miss Jeanette Chapman in the back, in the middle. She's the CEO and the community leader of Go Getter Enterprise. Miss Chatelle Riddick, who is a retired corrections officer. Miss Dominique Thurston, who is a doctor, y'all, she is a doctor. At Children's Hospital at Montefiore. She's young, y'all, she's a young doctor. And then we have Miss Monet Moore and Lieutenant Miriam Robinson, who are corrections officers at the Nassau County Sheriff's Department. So let's give it up, guys, for our volunteers who took some time to come in, empower you. So we did start a little late. We apologize. We were trying to give our scholars, we know that the weather has gotten nice outside and we know that sometimes they want to be anywhere but in the school building. So we tried to give a little time for, but thank you guys. Can we give it up for our scholars who did take some time today and showed up? So we may adjust the timeline just a little bit and what it might look like because we kind of have a little bit of a lesser crowd than we expected. So we may just kind of adjust what those small groups look like. But we're going to take some time to talk to our panel. So thank you guys for coming and spending some time with our students. By no means do you need to answer every question. It's just more of a get in where you fit in. Our questions are here. So our first question is going to be, what is the greatest accomplishment you've achieved professionally? What is the greatest accomplishment that you have achieved professionally?
Start, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So I would say it was learning what my purpose was and what I did. When I initially went into corporate America after graduating school, it was always about chasing the dollars and chasing the money and wanting to be at top pay. But then with a little bit of bumps in the road, I realized that my passion was really helping people to translate what their purpose was into reality in the workforce. So going into learning and development, being able to mold and develop the future of all the organizations I work at was one of the most impactful experiences, because I can see when people get promoted, when they take the next step in their career, and know that it was a part of me that made that impact. So yeah, I feel like that is my accomplishment. I walk in my purpose each and every day when I walk through the building, and I get the money that I want alongside it. So it's a very rewarding experience.
I would say becoming an entrepreneur. I think, right, when we're in school, we're often really trained and taught to work for other people, but not to think that we can own our own business, and through our passion and our creativity, that could be the way that we also make our living. And so becoming an entrepreneur and being able to have my own business and do the things my way and learn from that and see that I'm still supporting and helping people in the way that I want to, in the way that they need, has been like one of my greatest accomplishments.
Since someone stole my entrepreneur answer, I'm going to say my greatest accomplishment was actually when I became an author for the first time. And I think the reason why is because when I was in school, I hated writing and I hated reading, and got to a position where when I started working with young people and I wanted to kind of like share insight and advice and my experiences, and realized that the greatest way to do it and to impact people in the largest way is to write. And then I ended up realizing I have a passion for writing. So when I self-published my first book, and then I was able to add author as part of my title, I think that was definitely one of my greatest accomplishments.
Good morning, everyone. I kind of agree with everyone here. Our greatest accomplishment, or my greatest accomplishment, is finding our purpose in life, right? And I think someone said that, and I echo that. What is your purpose and who you are all depends on where you want to grow, what you want to do, right? I was talking to Richard earlier, and I relayed a sentiment to say, we often say our sky's the limit, and I kind of disagree with that. Our accomplishment stops with you, right? Your limit is who you are. The sky is just a goal. The limit is you. So your accomplishments should never stop. My accomplishment, I migrated to the US in 2010, so just about 15 years ago. And I started with odd jobs. And now I don't like titles, but I'm a director. So where does my limit, where's my accomplishment stop? It stops with me, and my accomplishment but I'm a director. So where does my limit, where's my accomplishment stop? It stops with me, and my accomplishment is trying to be a better person at my job, or generally in life, to my family, my son. And I say that's my greatest accomplishment, is trying to do better in life every single day, taking one step forward, taking so small steps to how I want to be and find my central purpose in life. I think that's like my greatest accomplishment. Trying to find my journey also.
Thank you. I think Ms. Kawana Hamilton began to kind of touch on our next question. What do you feel like your purpose is, and how did you discover it?
I discovered it through a very rocky road of, as I kind of mentioned earlier, I had a lot of leaders and just the calling out there. I'm a Black woman with a very unique name, and I was in a very corporate, blue collar, white collar industry, right? And so the first challenge was to differentiate myself and really get people to believe in me beyond what I look like, beyond what they thought I should represent, and beyond even the limits that I may have placed on myself because of that. So then I would have a lot of leaders telling me what I could not do. And that really was debilitating for me, because it made me feel, and sometimes when you hear so many people tell you what you can't do, you start believing maybe I can't do this, and maybe it's not for me, especially when you knew that you needed their sponsorship to rise the ladder in the company. But then I started realizing that I don't need to have authority to influence decision making. And if I knew going back to my limits are boundless, then I need to get myself in those rooms that made power decisions. So the one thing I did is I went back to school and I got my MBA. And in getting my MBA, I didn't get it because I felt like I needed it from an intellectual standpoint, even though it was super helpful. I did it because I needed to have a better network. I needed to have the ability to be an influencer in those rooms and get the connections that were necessary to start aligning what I knew I could do with what I knew who were the people making those decisions. So I would say my purpose was always there. It was always there to empower, to grow people, to really climb that ladder, because I knew what seat I deserved to be at in those rooms. But it was really getting people to also believe that I was ready, capable, and I had the ability to do it. So going back to school was the most impactful thing I've ever did. And it was because of the knowledge, the networking, the connections, and also, as much as we don't want to say, sometimes you do need those credentials in certain fields to get people to really believe in who you are. I don't know who.
So the question was, what do you feel like your purpose is, and how did you discover that?
So very simple, to help people, and I know that's like super vague, but it really is that. It's to help people, youth, adults, anybody that comes across my path, to also empower them so they know like everything that you want to do, whoever you want to be is really within yourself. You don't have to look outside anywhere else, and to get there, you have to remember to validate yourself. And I think that's a really hard thing to do as a young person, as an adult, because we have so much information coming at us. We have so much opinions telling us about who we should be. I mean, down to our parents, right? And so I have 2 kids, and I always encourage them to be who they are, and I allow them to be who they are. So my passion is about allowing people and supporting people along the way of who do you want to be, and that you can be whoever you say you want to be, you're going to be whoever you say you are, and helping them get the tools so that they can do that. I think that passion has always been within me from a very young child. I say as early as 13. I had all the bad friends, like got in trouble, getting locked up, and so, but they would all come to my house, and my house was a safe haven. When they were at my house, nobody got in trouble. Everyone was having a good time. And so I've always wanted to help people. I always wanted to help my friends and like make sure they didn't get in trouble. I wasn't a fighter. I didn't get in any fights, but my friends got into fights. So that has carried me and stuck with me. And every day that I do what I do, my passion is reinforced and reminding me that this is what I'm supposed to do.
I would say my passion is in advocating for people, whether it's young people or adults, which is why I practice law, but I also do a lot of work in schools and work with at-risk youth and provide a lot of empowerment for young people. Interestingly enough, and my answer is going to sound a little weird maybe, but I found my passion through pain, in a sense that like I endured a lot as a kid. How I was able to see my 18th birthday is still kind of a miracle. I went through a lot. I had a lot of loss, a lot of medical issues, a lot of personal struggles, and I used to always ask like, why me? Almost victimizing myself. But then when I started asking why me, like why is this happening to me and what am I supposed to do with it? That's when I realized that by sharing my story and working with people and kind of connecting them in ways on a personal level, I realized that ultimately that's why I'm here. And so that's my passion.
Money is good, but you don't have to chase a dollar. That shouldn't be your purpose. It's a goal. It's good to have to pay bills. You're not there yet, but it shouldn't be your purpose. And the purpose should be sometimes, how can I help? How can I give back? You have a panel here with some great folks who can give you great knowledge, right? So one day, I hope this inspires you to say, let me go and help and try to mentor someone else, right? So your passion, I think, is a continuous journey. It's an ongoing journey to where you want to be. I want to be happy. I want to be successful. I want to be a VP. I want to be an entrepreneur. right? That should be your purpose along your journey in life. And again, we say the word limit. Don't let anything limit what you want to do. Be something great. Be the best as you can. Fulfill your purpose as much as you possibly can.
We're going to share for now. All right, so our next question is, how has being a minority impacted you professionally in your professional journey? How has being a minority impacted your professional journey?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Oh, I love this question.
Okay.
That's a great question. So it's impact. So again, and every time I speak from my legal work and also from the educational. So from the educational, 99% of the schools that I work with are primarily Black and brown communities. I work with Black and brown students, and I primarily do that because as a professional, I want to walk into the room. I want them to meet an attorney in a positive setting. I want to share my story of growing up in Jamaica, Queens, and overcoming everything, and and empower and uplift them. And so, being able to go back and work with kids that look like me and have gone through similar things that I've gone through is important for me. From a legal perspective, we are, and by we I say people of color, we are so woefully underrepresented in the legal profession. I think, and don't quote me on this, I think 5% of attorneys are Black, 6% of attorneys are brown, but as a criminal attorney, I think 95% of my clients are Black or brown. And so I have a fundamental issue with that, which is why so much of my work in schools is about teaching about the law and about debate and encouraging young people to consider careers in the law. I don't know if Academy has a debate program, but I would love to partner with Academy. I partner with Hofstra Law School. Yeah. I partner with some of the, like Hofstra Law School, St. John's Law School, CUNY Law School, Rutgers in New Jersey, and I bring students out to these law schools. I want them to see themselves in the building as opposed to seeing themselves underrepresented in these television shows that are all fake anyway. I want to see them in the profession and ultimately try to diversify the legal profession. That's my goal.
I highlighted a little bit about how representation mattered for me, but I just want to kind of piggyback off what you said, Richard. I work in a company that's 45.6% women, and I'm only one of 2 VPs of color. Okay? That is, so not only am I a woman, I'm Black. And when you look at what to aspire to, it's hard to see yourself in those rooms. So my goal was to become what I did not see. So that was the first step, was I want to give someone the chance to see someone like me in a position where I am a decision maker. I am looking at strategy and looking how to evolve an organization, and know that they can also be that, because a lot of what I saw was traditional roles. And when I went to school for my undergrad, it was, you should be a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer, and I honestly, those are great industries, but I did not see myself in those rooms being inspired and enjoying that work. I saw it as what my mother thought was the next right step, so that she can go in the rooms and say, my daughter is XYZ. And I did take an untraditional route, but I didn't know my route was possible because I didn't see it. So when I don't see it, how do I believe it? And so I think the first step is to saying to yourself that whatever you want to be, whatever you enjoy, going back to that purpose and passion question, you should do. I enjoy interacting, engaging with people, learning, reading, and knowing how to translate that into reality. I enjoy turning impossible and making it to impossible, but I didn't know how to translate that into a career or into an industry because no one in my circle did what I did or understood what I did. So it is about taking opportunities and being mentored, being a person to say, wow, look at all these people here who do so many different things. That is so interesting. Can you help me? And they may not look like you, but it's okay to go to someone who may not be of your background, because I did go to women who I saw who were Caucasian and say, I love what you do. How do I do that? Can you be my mentor? But I felt at that point that if I didn't ask, I didn't get. So you don't wait for someone to tap you and say, hey, you look like you're talented. You look like you're ready. You're not going to get that. If you see someone doing something that inspires you, that interests you, that is something that you may think like, oh, wow, I would love to learn more about it, learn more. Because the more you learn and the more you try, the more you find. If you just stop yourself immediately and say, I'm a person of color, I've never seen this opportunity, it's not there for me, then you will always meet a brick wall. And you have to find a way to go from that brick wall and go over, under, or through. And that's through being inquisitive, stepping out of the box, stepping out of the norms of what people think you should be, and also identifying what you could be. So being a minority is only as limited as you make it. You have to take the opportunity for yourself to take what you want and not wait for someone to provide it.